Hello everyone, this is Dr. Kalpana Chauhan. Today I am going to discuss about comparators as a part of the static relays. The comparator is a part of a static relay which receives two or more inputs that will be compared and gives output based on their comparison. Here the comparators can be classified as amplitude comparator or phase comparator. In case of amplitude comparator, as its name reflects that amplitudes of the input quantities have to be compared, and based on their amplitude comparison the relay will be operated. And in the phase comparators there is no effect of what is the amplitude of the input signals, only phase has to be compared. Now first of all I am going to the amplitude comparators. Amplitude comparators having, as I said, that it's having two inputs m and n, and we got the output. So it operates when amplitude, here we have taken mode, that means amplitude of m is greater than n. We are taking m as the operating quantity and n is the restraining quantity. That means it compares the magnitude of two input quantities irrespective of the angle between them. One of the input is m. See, we are saying here m is the operating quantity and other one is the restraining quantity. Phase comparators, if we talk about phase comparator, these also having two inputs. We have just taken example of two inputs and it gives the output, means it operated when the phi angle between these quantities is less than 90 degree. Here if two input signals, here we said that S1 the input signal is m, S2 is the output and S2 is n. The output occurs when the inputs have phase relationship laying within the specified limit. Both the input must exist for an output to occur. The operation is independent of their magnitude and only depends upon the phase relationship among them. The phase comparator or amplitude comparator, they show the duality between them. Means we can convert the amplitude, we can use the amplitude comparator as for the phase comparison, and the phase comparator we can use it as the for the amplitude comparator. Here we have amplitude comparator. Here it operates when amplitude of m is greater than n. Then if we are using it for the phase comparator as a phase comparator, then we have to convert these inputs. Suppose we have m and n, then the comparison is made between m plus n and m minus n. Means if we draw the vector diagram of m and n, then their resultant, and one resultant is direct and other resultant is while we inverting the next one input. Then we have two inputs. Now the resultant of the inputs obtained from the amplitude comparator. In that case it operates when amplitude of m plus n is greater than m minus n. Again we are saying that m is the operating quantity here and n is the restraining quantity here. And this condition, if you are saying that why we are going to make this comparison, this condition satisfied when only and only when the phi phase angle between them is less than 90 degree. Now let's see how this happen. We have input n and other input m is at phase of phi. Then their resultant is m plus n here, and if we invert the one input minus n, then we get the m minus n here. In this case it is clearly shown that we have phi is greater than 90. Then there is a comparison, as we can see that m plus n is less than m minus n here only if phi is greater than 90. Now let's see second case. We have n here and the angle phi is exactly at 90 degree here. We have m plus n and m minus n. Then in that case, if phi is equal to 90 degree, then there is a comparison, means m plus n and m minus n are equal. Then next case, if phi is less than 90 degree, then in that case we have m plus n and is always greater than, we obtain from the vector diagram, we obtain m plus n is greater than m minus n. Now we are going to tell about how we can use the phase comparator for amplitude comparison. Here we have taken a case that it operates when phi is less than 90. Then if we are going to use it as phase amplitude comparator, then the again m plus n and m minus n inputs have been compared. It operates when the phase between m plus 1 and m minus 1, we are saying it as lambda, is less than 90 degree. This condition satisfies when this m, to which we are saying the operating quantity, is greater than the n restraining quantity. Now see the phasor diagram. Here we have n and m and their resultant m plus n. This is the case when we have taken m is less than n. In that case, the angle between m plus n and m minus n, lambda, is always, we can find it greater than 90. So we can use it as phase comparator. Only if we say that amplitude comparator, in that case we can say that m is less than n. Then next is if we are taking m is, here we have taken, here m is equal to n. In that case, lambda is always, we obtained, equal to 90 degree. Then the next case is if m is greater than n. In that case, we have the angle between m plus n and m minus n is less than 90. In that case, the phase comparator operate as a amplitude comparator because the operating quantity is exceeds the restraining quantity. Now we are going for the types of the amplitude comparator. Amplitude comparator, as earlier told, that it compares the magnitude of two input quantities irrespective of their angle between them. This input quantity or operating quantity, these two input are the operating quantity and the restraining quantity. And when operating quantity is greater than restraining quantity, relay send trip signal to the circuit breaker. Only this is the condition when the circuit breaker get operate through the relay. Here amplitude comparators can be circulating current type of comparators, phase splitting type comparators, sampling comparators. Now first of all, I am telling about the circulating current type amplitude comparator. Sometimes we called it as the rectifier bridge type comparator with slave relay. Here we are saying it rectifier bridge type of comparator because we are using here two rectifier bridges. These type of comparators are widely used for realization of overcurrent relays or distance relays. The operating and restraining quantities are rectified and then applied to a slave relay. Here we have this with the slave relay. There are two full wave rectifiers. One for the we have actually we have in this bridge rectifier we have two cases. One with the slave relay and another is the with the thyristor relay. First of all, we are telling about with slave relay. With slave relay, we have the figure as shown here. We have two full wave rectifiers and one from them is for operating quantity and other from the restraining quantity. The outputs of these bridges are applied to a, here we have a DC sensitive DC polarized relay. When operating quantity, this operating quantity here we are saying, suppose we are using it for the overcurrent. So we have I naught here operating current, and here we have a restraining current. When we, here is a comparison made by this sensitive polarized relay, and if these quantities, if the this I naught, or we can say if the operating current is greater than the restraining current, then the relay get operated. Second is with the thyristor. In this case, the thyristor circuit is connected here as a output, as an output to the rectifier bridge type amplitude comparator. Here all things are same. At first bridge, here we have an operating quantity, and on the second bridge we have restraining quantity, but the output that we are getting here from, in place of slave relay, here we have a, where the output is going to the thyristor. Phase splitting type amplitude comparator. Next type of amplitude comparator is phase splitting type amplitude comparator. Here we can see here that the input is split into 6 components which are 60° apart, so that the output after rectification is smooth within 5%. As both input signals to the relay are smoothed out before they are compared, a continuous output signal is obtained. The operating time depends on the slowest arm of the phase splitting circuit and the speed of the output device. Here the relay is here, and here we are saying that this is M is the operating quantity and N is here the restraining quantity, and both combination have 6 components. Sampling comparator, this is also lies in the amplitude comparator category. But in this case, one of the inputs is rectified and it is compared with the other input at a particular particular moment. The instantaneous value of the other input is sampled at a particular desired moment. Such comparators are used to realize reactance in case of distance relays, reactance type relays, or more relays. Then phase comparators. Phase comparators may be vector product phase comparators, or the in this vector product phase comparator, again it is categorized as Hall effect and magnetoresistivity type of phase comparator, and another categorization is coincidence type phase comparators. In this we have phase splitting type and integrating type and rectifier bridge type of phase comparators. Another one category is the block spike, or sometimes we call it as the time biased phase comparators. Now first of all we are going for the first category, vector product phase comparator. In this we are talking about first the Hall effect comparator. In another lecture I have discussed the phenomena of the Hall effect. In these comparators the output is proportional to the vector product of the AC input signals. Hall effect, it is utilized to realize this phase comparator, and the material that is used for the Hall effect is indium antimonide or indium arsenide. And if we talk about indium arsenide, it is considered better for to use it in the phase comparator type of static relays. Protective relays based on Hall effect have been used mainly in the USSR only, and these devices have low output, low cost, and they can cause errors due to rising temperatures. Second type of vector product phase comparators are magnetoresistivity comparators. These are also based on the materials. Here we are using semiconductors. Some semiconductors exhibit a resistance property when subjected to a magnetic field. Suppose we are here saying that we have two input signals, voltage is V1 and V2. If V1 is applied to produce a magnetic field through a semiconductor disc, then we are saying that V2 sends a current I through the disc at a right angle to the magnetic field. Then in that case, the I is proportional to V1 V2 cos phi, where phi is the angle between these two voltages V1 and V2. Therefore, this can be used as a comparator, phase comparator. It is, we can say it is better than the Hall effect type of comparator because it gives the higher output. Construction circuit is also simple and there is no polarizing current is required to actuate them. But their application is also limited to the USSR. Now, coincidence phase comparators. In this category, there is a wait for a particular moment or coincidence of the two input signals. In coincidence circuit type phase comparators, the period of coincidence of the positive polarity of two input signal is measured as shown in this figure and compared with a predetermined angle, and usually this angle is taken as 90 degree. The period of coincidence that is represented by xi here, in here we have represented it with xi. If two input signals have a phase difference of phi, we are saying that there is a phase difference, this m is coming at this point and after an angle phi the next signal is coming. The period of coincidence is we are saying xi is equal to 180 degree minus this angle phi. Here we can, it is clear from this diagram. If we have this phi is less than 90, let's see the conditions, then xi will be greater than 90. Obviously, if we have the phi less than 90, then xi is greater than 90. The relay is required for trip only when this phi is less than 90. Only in that case, this xi becomes greater than 90. So, phase comparator circuit is designed to send a trip signal only when the xi exceeds 90 degree. Now, phase splitting type phase comparators. Both inputs are split into two components, and these two components, if we are saying that first component, if you are saying the complete is 90 degree, then if you split into two components which are shifted to plus minus 45 degree, we have shifted them for at 45 degree from the original wave. All the four components are then fed into a AND gate as shown in figure. Here we have divided this 45. Then we send these four signals to a AND gate. The tripping occurs when all the four signals become simultaneously positive. If this is positive, this is positive, this is positive, this is positive, only then the tripping is occur. An AND gate is used as the coincidence detector, so we have named it as coincidence detector. The coincidence of all the four occurs only when phi is less than 90, and this is the other condition. So the full range of operation we can say for this phase splitting type of comparator is in between minus 90 degree, here we have a minus here, minus 90 degree to 90 degree. This is a direct comparison technique of the phases. Next is the integrating type phase comparator. The coincidence is measured in case of integrating type of phase comparators. It is measured for each cycle by integrating the output of an AND gate, which is called as coincidence detector, to which the input signal is applied. We can say here in this figure A, we are talking about there are two input signals. The hashed area shows the time of coincidence. During this incidence, we have the positive, though both inputs are positive. This period is represented by xi, and the phase difference between the inputs is phi. The angle is 180 degree minus phi. If phi is less than 90, xi is greater than 90. If these two inputs are applied on the AND gate, then the output of gate is series of square pulses. A square wave output during the period is generated and there is no output for the rest of the period of a cycle. Here in this figure we have given this to the, we have sine square wave converter, then we have given it to the AND gate, then intergated, then level detector has been applied as per the requirement and the tripping circuit get actuated. Here the output of the AND gate is a chain pulses for period this if phi is less than 90 and xi is greater than 90 degree. The relay will provide a trip output. Only in that case the output of AND gate is applied to the integrator. Here the output of integrator is shown in figure C. It is integrating the output. This output is applied to a level detector again, then which finally gives the trip signal. Here we are showing an integrating type phase comparator circuit with the thyristor as the level detector. Here we have connected a thyristor to use it as a level detector. Here this figure D and E shows the output of AND gate and the integrator respectively. Here we have output of coincidence to this is nothing but the output of the AND gate, and E, this waveform is showing the output of the integrator because we have connected here R and C components. So relay may be set to operate at if when xi is equal to 90 degree. Another type of phase comparator in category of coincidence phase comparators is rectifier bridge type phase comparator. There are two signals in this case also. We have M and N. In rectifier bridge phase comparator we have a bridge here, rectifier bridge here. So we have a rectifier bridge phase comparator. To compare the phases of M and N, the bridge compares the input M plus N and M minus N. Here we can see this is the in case of amplitude comparator we have utilizing the this bridge rectifier bridge type comparators, and here in this case we are using these amplitude comparators as the phase comparators. So here the inputs those are compared are M plus N and M minus N here. So this circuit gives two tripping signals per cycle. Now this figure C showing a half wave comparator. In the previous one we have full bridge rectifier, and in this case we have a half wave comparator with the direction of the circuit as we have shown the direction of M, direction of N, and half phase comparison is made by the amplitude comparison. This circuit gives one tripping in each cycle. The direction shown in true for a particular moment during the whole cycle when M is greater than N, where M is the operating quantity and both have a positive polarity as well. At the other moment the direction may change, but every time the amplitude of M plus N and M minus N are compared. The current flowing in the polarized relay is IR, which is the difference between M plus magnitude of M plus N and M minus N. Therefore the phase of M and N are compared in this case, so it is we are called it as the phase comparator. The output shown in these figures is polarized DC relay, which cannot be replaced by an integrator circuit or some thyristor circuit. Here this PR is showing the polarized relay. This is the polarized relay, and it can never be replaced by the thyristor or some integrator circuit. Next one is the time bias phase comparator. time passed or the spike comparator. In time based phase comparator, the inputs are applied to an AND gate. Here we have directly applied these inputs to the AND gate, which gives a square block output during the coincidence. A square block output during the coincidence period of the two sinusoidal input. The output from the AND gate is fed to another gate. WIT. This is here. Here. This is the, which gives a square block output during the coincidence period of two sinusoidal inputs. The output from the AND gate is fed to another AND gate through two different channels. One is directly and the other through a delay circuit. The delay circuit gives a delayed output. Because of this delay output, the output delays by an angle delta here from the starting point, as we have shown in B and C. The delay delta is kept 90 degree here. If the block and pulse, here block and pulse output of the delay circuit, which are the still coincides, the second AND gate will give an output. If block and pulse do not coincide, the second AND gate doesn't give an output. Here we can see in this B figure, these spikes and blocks are coincide, but in case of this C figure, the spikes are out of the block. This means that the output of the first case has to persist for a period delta so that the second gate may operate and send a tripping signal. This technique is more suitable for multi-input comparators. However, it is subjected to a false tripping by a false transient signal, which may be noise signals, whereas phase comparators discussed earlier, they don't have such type of problems. Now, to summarize, there are lots of advantages of a static relay. Some of them are: the static relay consumes very less power, because of which the burden on the measuring instruments decreases and their accuracy increases. The static relay gives quick response because they are using the electronics devices and they having the long life. We are talking about the thyristors, high reliability, accuracy and shockproof as well. The reset time of relay is very less. It does not have any thermal storage problem. The relay amplifies the input signal, which increases their sensitivity. The chance of unwanted tripping is also less in this type of relays. The static relay can easily operate in earthquake prone areas because they have high resistance to shock. There are some limitations also in static relays, like the components used by static relay are very sensitive to electrostatic discharges. Second, the relay is easily affected by the high voltage surges, thus precautions should be taken for avoiding the damages through voltage spikes. The working of the relay depends upon the electrical components as well. The relay has less overloading capacity. The static relay is more costly as compared to electromagnetic relays because of the electronic devices those are used in these type of relays. The construction of the relay is easily affected by the surrounding interference. For integrating protection and monitoring systems, programmable microprocessor controlled static relays are preferred. Now there is a comparison table between the static relays and electromagnetic relays. First, if we talk about in terms of power consumption, in case of static relays it is very less in these relay because they are using the electronic devices, so they consume the power less than 1 milliwatt. While in case of electromagnetic relays, they use the high power 2 watt. around 2 volt. If we talk about moving contacts, in case of static relays, there are no moving contacts, so there is less problems of arcing, and there is no need to replace these contacts again and again. In case of electromagnetic relays, moving contacts are present, so the problems related to them like arcing, replacement of contacts is there present there. If we talk about effect of gravity or gravitational force, there is no effect of gravity in case of static relays, but there is a gravitational force effect in case of electromagnetic relays. Position of relay, if we talk about, a relay can be installed at any, static relays can be installed at any location at any position, while electromagnetic relays has to be installed straight only, and we have to keep them away from the magnetic field. Functions. Static relays can perform various functions. One relay can be used as overcurrent relay, undercurrent relay, etc. But in case of electromagnetic relays, one relay can perform only one function. One relay can be used as overcurrent and another one for the undervoltage and another one for the other purposes. Delay in operation. We can provide delay in static relays easily while if we use the thyristors. And in electromagnetic relays, it is not possible to provide the delay in operation. If we talk about size, static relays having small sizes, while electromagnetic relays due to use of moving parts having large sizes. Static relays are more accurate and high with high speed, while in case of electromagnetic these are slow. Effect of vibration and shocks. There is no effect of vibration shocks in case of static relays, but in case of electromagnetic relays there are vibration. Yes, there is vibrations. External supply required. In case of static relays, a DC supply is always required for level detector, time circuit, etc. But in case of electromagnetic relays, no external supply is required. Voltage change can damage static relays because electronic components are used in this case, and but in case of electromagnetic relays there is no effect of voltage changes. Static relays are costly, electromagnetic relays are less costly compared to the static relays. Effect of temperature. If temperature exists, the static relays may damage, but in case of electromagnetic relays temperature effect is less. So this is all about comparators in static relays and their advantages, limitations and comparison to the electromagnetic relays.